Have you ever thought of your blood pressure like a bridge? It holds up every day, silently, carrying the weight of your body, your thoughts, your worries, and your years. It doesn't complain, it doesn't squeak. But here's the truth, even the strongest bridges collapse, not from sudden disasters, but from small cracks that no one noticed in time. High blood pressure works exactly like that. It doesn't always come with symptoms. It doesn't warn you with pain. And yet it remains one of the leading causes of stroke, heart attack, and kidney failure, especially in people over the age of 60. If you're in your 60s or 70s, you might be thinking, "But I feel fine." Or, "I've been on medication for years, it's under control." Or maybe, "It's just part of getting older, right?" Well, here's what the science says. 2 out of 3 adults over 60 in the US have high blood pressure, and nearly half of them don't even know it's out of control. But there's good news. You're not powerless. You don't have to just wait for something to go wrong. You can take charge of your blood pressure, naturally, gently, and without turning your life upside down. In this video, we're going to walk you through why blood pressure gets harder to manage as we age, the silent habits that may be raising your numbers every day, and, most importantly, 7 natural research-backed tips to help you take back control. No gimmicks, no miracle pills, just real doable changes that have helped thousands of seniors feel stronger, sleep better, and live longer. So if you're ready to protect your heart and your future, take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin. When we were younger, our bodies had a remarkable ability to bounce back. A salty meal, a stressful day, our arteries flexed, our heart adjusted, and by morning, our blood pressure was often back to normal. But after 60, things begin to change, slowly, quietly, and sometimes dangerously. Let's break it down. 1. Your arteries become less elastic. Think of your blood vessels like rubber bands. When you're young, they stretch and rebound easily. But with age, those rubber bands become more like old garden hoses, stiff, less flexible. This means your heart has to pump harder to push blood through, raising your blood pressure even when you don't feel anything wrong. 2. Your kidneys don't filter as efficiently. Your kidneys play a key role in regulating blood pressure by managing fluid and salt balance. But over time, kidney function can decline, even without obvious symptoms, leading to fluid buildup and pressure in your system. 3. Hormonal shifts affect balance. As we age, hormone levels shift. In particular, changes in cortisol, insulin, and adrenaline response make your body more sensitive to stress and less effective at calming itself down. That's why a little anxiety or poor sleep can push your numbers higher than you expect. 4. Medications and other conditions complicate the picture. By the time we're in our 60s or 70s, many of us are taking multiple prescriptions, whether for arthritis, cholesterol, diabetes, or heart conditions. Some of these medications, ironically, can raise blood pressure or interfere with your body's natural regulation. And if you already have other health issues, like diabetes or heart disease, your blood vessels are under even more strain. Why this matters? High blood pressure in seniors is more dangerous than in younger adults. Why? Because the consequences hit harder. A sudden spike can trigger a stroke. Long-term elevation can quietly damage your heart, brain, eyes, and kidneys. And symptoms like dizziness or lightheadedness can lead to dangerous falls. And here's the kicker. You may feel perfectly fine. That's why hypertension is often called the silent killer. But here's the empowering truth. Once you understand why it's happening, you can begin to reverse the trend. So now that we've uncovered the hidden reasons blood pressure gets riskier after 60, let's explore the hidden habits that could be making it worse, often without you realizing it. Sometimes, it's not the big things that hurt us, it's the small habits we repeat every day, often without thinking. Habits that seem harmless, habits we grew up with. But when you're over 60, these silent choices can quietly raise your blood pressure and keep it high. Let's take a closer look at 5 of the most common mistakes seniors make. Mistake number 1. Thinking less salt means no worries. You've heard it for years. Cut the salt, cut the pressure. So you put away the salt shaker. But did you know over 70% of sodium in our diets comes from packaged and processed foods, not the salt you sprinkle at home? Canned soups, deli meats, frozen meals, even healthy veggie burgers are loaded with sodium. And low fat often means high salt to boost flavor. What to do instead? Read nutrition labels. Look for low sodium or less 940 milligrams per serving. Better yet, cook simple meals from scratch, using herbs, garlic, and lemon for flavor. Mistake number 2. Starting your day with caffeine and chaos. For many, mornings start with a cup of strong coffee, followed by emails, news, maybe even some frustration. But caffeine can temporarily spike blood pressure, especially when combined with mental stress or poor sleep. What to do instead? Try half-calf or decaf blends. Drink a glass of water before coffee. Create a calm morning routine. Stretching, soft music, a short walk, or deep breathing before the rush. Mistake number 3. Sitting still for too long. Whether it's watching TV, reading, or browsing the internet, sitting for hours slows blood circulation and weakens your cardiovascular system. Your heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it gets weaker if it doesn't move. What to do instead? Stand or stretch every 30 to 60 minutes. Walk after meals. Do light chair exercises during commercials. Mistake number 4. Assuming my pills will handle it. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, I take my meds, so I'm fine. But medication is only one piece of the puzzle. If you continue unhealthy habits, pills can only do so much, sometimes masking problems rather than solving them. What to do instead? Use medication as a support, not a substitute for healthy lifestyle choices. Track your blood pressure daily. Bring results to your doctor and ask, how can I lower this naturally, too? Mistake number 5. Ignoring sleep and stress. Stress raises your cortisol levels. Poor sleep leaves your body in fight or flight mode. Together, they're a recipe for chronic high blood pressure. Many seniors underestimate the toll that emotional strain and sleep debt take on the heart. What to do instead? Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Try calming breathing techniques or meditation before bed. Talk to someone. Loneliness and anxiety are invisible, but powerful stressors. These mistakes are easy to make, but they're just as easy to fix. And once you start making small corrections, your blood pressure responds. You feel lighter, clearer, more in control. So, now that we've uncovered the traps, let's shift gears and look at the powerful lifestyle solutions that can help you take your blood pressure down, naturally and for good. Let's take a deep breath together, because after everything you've just heard about stiff arteries, hidden sodium, silent stress, and invisible risks, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. You might be wondering, is it too late for me? Do I have to give up all the foods I love? Will I need more medications forever? Let us assure you, no, it's not too late. And no, you don't need to flip your life upside down. Here's the good news. You can lower your blood pressure, gently, naturally, and without pain. In fact, studies show that small, consistent changes in your daily routine often have more lasting impact than extreme diets or sudden overhauls. Just by tweaking what you eat, moving a little more, sleeping a little better, and paying closer attention to your habits, you can reduce your blood pressure by 10, 15, even 20 points without needing more pills. Real progress starts with real-life choices. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Over the next few sections, we'll show you 7 practical, proven lifestyle tips tailored specifically for seniors like you, backed by science, easy to follow, and designed to fit into your daily rhythm. They're not theories. They're not fads. They're the same habits that have helped thousands of people over 60 live longer, feel stronger, and worry less. So if you're ready to take control, without fear and without confusion, let's begin with the first, and perhaps most powerful step, the food on your plate. You don't need fancy supplements. You don't need to starve yourself. You just need to eat like your heart depends on it, because it does. The truth is, your fork can be your most powerful medicine. Let's break down how food can either raise your blood pressure or help you lower it naturally, every single day. The golden rule: more potassium, less sodium. Sodium, from salt and processed foods, pushes your blood pressure up. Potassium, from fruits and vegetables, helps pull it back down. Potassium relaxes blood vessels and flushes out excess sodium through the kidneys, like nature's built-in pressure valve. So what should you eat more of? Top blood pressure-friendly foods for seniors. Leafy greens: spinach, kale, Swiss chard, arugula, packed with potassium and magnesium. Add them to smoothies, stir-fries, or soups. Bananas: easy to digest, rich in potassium, perfect as a snack or with oatmeal. Sweet potatoes: fiber-rich, low glycemic, and naturally sweet, great roasted or mashed. Beans and lentils: high in plant-based protein and potassium, low in fat. Try adding to stews or salads. Berries: blueberries, strawberries, loaded with antioxidants called anthocyanins that support artery health. Fatty fish: salmon, mackerel, sardines, rich in omega-3s that reduce inflammation and improve blood vessel flexibility. Garlic contains allicin, a natural compound that can help dilate blood vessels and lower pressure. Try fresh garlic in salad dressings or roasted with veggies. Dark chocolate, 70% cocoa or higher. In moderation, it can improve nitric oxide levels and relax blood vessels. Olive oil, a heart-healthy fat. Use it for cooking or drizzling on vegetables instead of butter or margarine. What to avoid or cut down? Canned soups and frozen dinners, high in sodium. Deli meats, processed and salty. Pickles and condiments, often loaded with hidden salt. White bread and refined carbs cause sugar spikes, stress hormones, higher blood pressure. Alcohol. 1 glass of red wine occasionally is okay, but more than that raises your risk. Bonus tip: retrain your taste buds. Did you know that it takes about 3 weeks to reset your taste buds? Start cutting back salt slowly. Use spices like garlic powder, turmeric, paprika, cumin, and lemon juice to flavor your meals. Soon, your body won't crave the salt. It'll crave freshness and balance instead. Simple sample meal for the day. Breakfast: oatmeal topped with banana and blueberries, a handful of walnuts, green tea. Lunch: grilled salmon with spinach salad, olive oil plus lemon, a small sweet potato. Dinner, lentil stew with kale, a slice of whole grain bread, chamomile tea. Snack, a piece of dark chocolate and a cup of hibiscus tea. When you eat the right foods, you don't just feed your body, you heal your heart. Coming up next, let's move from the kitchen to your body, because the second key to lowering blood pressure isn't what you eat. If food is medicine for your heart, then movement is its daily tune-up. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need to sweat buckets. You just need to move your body, consistently and kindly. Because here's the truth. Even 20 to 30 minutes of light to moderate activity per day can lower your blood pressure by 5 to 15 points. That's the same power as some medications, without the side effects. Why exercise helps blood pressure? It strengthens your heart so it doesn't have to work as hard to pump blood. It improves circulation and flexibility in your blood vessels. It helps your body use insulin more efficiently, reducing insulin resistance, a root cause of high blood pressure. It reduces stress, improves sleep, and helps you maintain a healthy weight. And best of all, the benefits start immediately. The best types of exercise for seniors over 60. 1. Brisk walking. Still the #1 most effective and accessible form of movement. Try walking outdoors or on a treadmill. Even 10-minute walks after meals can help blunt blood sugar spikes and lower pressure. 2. Gentle cycling or stationary bike. Low impact on joints, great for stamina and circulation. 3. Chair yoga or Tai Chi. Improves flexibility, reduces stiffness, and lowers cortisol, stress hormone. Perfect for seniors with balance issues or joint discomfort. 4. Light resistance training. Use light dumbbells or resistance bands to maintain muscle mass and metabolism. Muscle supports blood vessels, and the more muscle you have, the better your body handles glucose and pressure. 5. Sit to stand or stair steps. These functional exercises improve leg strength and balance, reducing fall risk while gently raising your heart rate. Tips to make it stick. Start small, just 5 to 10 minutes a day, and build gradually. Use cues. Link movement to a daily habit. Walk after brushing teeth, or stretch while watching TV. Find a buddy. Walking with a friend keeps you accountable and socially connected. Track your wins. Keep a movement calendar and celebrate progress, no matter how small. Movement isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. Each step you take, each stretch you hold, sends a message to your body. I care. I'm not giving up. I'm choosing life. Coming up next, if movement helps your days, then rest restores your nights. You might eat well. You might take your meds. You might even walk every day. But if you're not sleeping deeply, and if your mind is carrying too much stress, your blood pressure may still stay high. Most people don't realize that poor sleep and emotional stress are like invisible hands, tightening the pressure inside your arteries, little by little, day after day. Let's break this down. The sleep-blood pressure connection. When you sleep, your blood pressure naturally dips. This is called nocturnal dipping. It gives your heart a chance to rest and recover. But if you're tossing, turning, or waking up often, this dip doesn't happen. Your blood pressure stays high all night long. And over time, that puts extra strain on your heart, kidneys, and brain. Common culprits. Sleep apnea, very common in older adults, especially if you snore. Waking up to use the bathroom multiple times. Anxiety or racing thoughts at bedtime. Late-night screen time disrupting melatonin. How stress silently raises pressure. When you're stressed, your body enters fight or flight mode. Your heart beats faster. blood vessels tighten, and stress hormones surge. It's fine in short bursts, but chronic stress, from loneliness, finances, caregiving, or simply worrying too much, keeps your system on high alert, and that can keep your blood pressure stubbornly high, no matter what you eat. Simple, science-backed solutions. Deep breathing, 4-7-8, or box breathing. Just 2 minutes a day can calm your nervous system. Establish a bedtime routine. Dim lights, no screens. Hour before bed, calming music or herbal tea. Stretch or walk after dinner. Helps lower cortisol and aids sleep. Talk it out, whether with a friend, family member, or therapist. Don't let your thoughts stay bottled up. Try guided relaxation apps made for seniors, like Insight Timer or Calm, with large text or audio features. The goal? Not perfection, just 7 to 8 hours of good, consistent sleep and moments of calm throughout your day. Because your heart doesn't just need movement, it needs rest. Next up, we'll shift from internal rhythms to external tools. Your blood pressure monitor is like a mirror, but what if that mirror is foggy, tilted, or simply not used correctly? Measuring your blood pressure at home can be one of the most powerful tools in managing your health, if it's done the right way. Too many seniors rely only on clinic visits or casual home readings that are rushed, inaccurate, or inconsistent, and that can lead to overmedication, false alarms, or worse, missed warning signs. Let's make sure you're getting the numbers you can actually trust. Before you measure, rest first. Sit calmly for at least 5 minutes before taking a reading. Empty your bladder. A full bladder can increase your systolic pressure by 10 to 15 points. Avoid caffeine, smoking, or exercise 30 minutes beforehand. Sit in a chair with back support, feet flat on the floor, and arms supported at heart level. How to measure correctly. Use the upper arm, not the wrist. Wrist cuffs tend to be less reliable. Make sure the cuff fits properly. Too tight or too loose equals bad readings. Take 2 readings, 1 minute apart. Record both and average them. Measure at the same times each day. Morning and evening are ideal. Keep a log or journal to track patterns, not just single readings. Why accuracy matters. A one-time spike could be due to stress, talking, or movement. But when you consistently track at home, you and your doctor get a much clearer picture of your real heart health. This helps prevent unnecessary medication increases, spot early signs of uncontrolled hypertension, catch patterns like white coat syndrome, high in clinic, normal at home, or masked hypertension, normal in clinic, high at home. Recommended tools. Automatic upper arm monitors with large displays and memory function. Brands with validation by the American Heart Association, AHA. Bring your device to your next doctor's visit to compare readings. Monitoring at home isn't just about numbers. It's about taking back control. Next, let's talk about how to safely work with your doctor and medications to keep your blood pressure in check without overdoing it. Medication can save lives, but it can also cause harm, especially if it's misunderstood, misused, or continued out of habit without reevaluation. For seniors over 60, blood pressure medication is often part of daily life. But here's the truth. It should never be a set-it-and-forget-it solution. Let's talk about how to use medication as a tool, not a trap. When medication helps most. When lifestyle changes alone haven't brought numbers down. After a serious event like a stroke, heart attack, or kidney issue. In cases of very high blood pressure, 180/120 or more. For many, medication can prevent future damage if it's the right drug, the right dose, and carefully monitored. But here's where problems begin. Dosage isn't adjusted as you improve. Your pressure drops, but the pills stay the same. Multiple doctors prescribe different medications, unaware of overlaps. Side effects creep in: dizziness, fatigue, frequent urination, muscle cramps. Over-medication in the elderly can cause blood pressure to drop too low, increasing the risk of fainting, falls, and even memory loss. This is especially true for those in nursing homes or hospital settings, where routine prescribing can overlook individual needs. What you can do. Track your numbers at home and bring them to every appointment. Ask your doctor, do I still need this dose? Could any of these pills be overlapping? Are we treating my current numbers or just following protocol? Never stop medication without speaking to your doctor, but never assume your current dose is forever. You are your own best advocate. Medications are tools, but you are the builder. And sometimes a better lifestyle can reduce or even eliminate the need for high doses. In our final section, we'll talk about a powerful medicine that has no side effects and isn't sold in stores. You've heard of heart disease, you've heard of high cholesterol, but have you ever heard of loneliness-induced hypertension? It's real, and for seniors over 60, it's more common and more dangerous than most people think. Your heart feels more than just blood pressure. Studies have shown that people who are socially isolated or chronically lonely are more likely to have higher blood pressure, weaker immune systems, and higher risks of heart attack and stroke. Why? Because loneliness isn't just emotional, it's biological. It increases stress hormones like cortisol. It reduces sleep quality, it triggers chronic low-grade inflammation, which stiffens blood vessels over time, and it can lead to habits like inactivity, poor eating, or skipping medications. Connection is heart medicine. Here's the good news. You don't need a big social circle. You don't need to be a social butterfly. One or two genuine connections, a friend, a neighbor, a group you meet weekly, can make a powerful difference. Try this. Join a walking group, senior center, or community class. Schedule weekly calls with family or friends. Volunteer once a week. It gives purpose and connection. Even short conversations with a neighbor or store clerk can lift your mood and lower tension. Health is not just physical, it's relational. When you laugh, talk, share, and feel seen, your heart responds, your blood vessels relax, your stress fades, your body feels safer. So if you're working on lowering your blood pressure, don't just look at your plate or your pills. Look at your calendar, look at your connections. So let's take a moment to breathe and reflect. You've just taken a full journey through the real, natural, and often overlooked ways to lower your blood pressure after 60. And no, it didn't involve extreme diets, expensive treatments, or a suitcase full of pills. Just simple, steady steps based on science, grounded in real life. Let's recap your 7 pillars of blood pressure control. Eat smart. Prioritize potassium-rich, heart-healthy foods like greens, berries, beans, and fish. Move more. Aim for 20 to 30 minutes a day of gentle, consistent activity, like walking or stretching. Sleep well. Stress less. Build evening routines and use breathing techniques to calm your system. Measure accurately. Learn to track your blood pressure at home the right way. Use medications wisely. Talk with your doctor about dosages, side effects, and possible adjustments. Stay connected. Build and protect your social life. It's one of the most powerful forms of heart protection. Believe in progress. Small wins matter. Every step counts. What can you start today? You don't need to do everything at once, but you do need to start something. Choose one food to add to your next meal. Go for a 10-minute walk after dinner. Call someone you've been meaning to reconnect with. Literally simply take one deep, calming breath and say, "I'm not stuck, I'm just getting started." Your health isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Every choice you make sends a message to your body. I care, I'm in charge, and I still have time to make things better. So if this video gave you even one useful tip, like it. Share it with someone you care about. Subscribe to Senior Health Guide for more simple, honest, and powerful health videos designed just for you. And let us know in the comments, which of these 7 tips are you going to start with today? Because together, we're not just lowering blood pressure, we're raising awareness, restoring confidence, and rewriting what healthy aging looks like. Take care, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video.